Hi there, this video is showcasing the rig that I've built for this character mesh in front of you. I had to build this rig as part of a university assignment, so yeah. Research wise, for the module, I looked at Paul Neal's FK-IK blends tutorial, his triple IK leg tutorial, also a YouTube video on the reaction manager, and tech artist forum post on general skinning tips. I've put a link to all those in the description. Also, I've used taught lecture content, which has been taught over the module, kind of thing. So yeah, straight in. So this is the actual base mesh that I used. I chose this mesh because I thought it's not too difficult for my first rig, and it's got a very nice topology flow over the body, just meaning that when it comes to skinning, there's not going to be any major errors like caused by the topology of the mesh, kind of thing. So that was that. Yeah, so straight in. Right. So as you can see, I've got a layer system set up, so it helps segment all the separate sections of the body. So as you can see, within each, I have all the labelled parts, which showcase all the different bones and nubs and controls and whatnot. So yeah, right. So here are the main bones, the blend bones, if you will, which have been skinned to the actual mesh. So they're the ones that have the main control over the actual like skin process. So when one of these moves, it moves, and then each have their own separate control systems. You can see some of the spine there. So yeah, as you can see, it's also color coded. So red indicating the mesh's right hand side, green for the mesh's left hand side, from the mesh perspective, and blue for the central points, which have even distribution over the two sides. So right, we'll go into the arm to start with. So let's just close a few of these down. So for the arm, I've used a FK IK blend solution to allow both methods of control for the one limb. As you can see here, if I turn these on, they're the three arms. It's kind of tough to tell. It's just so as you can see, like the FK arm has a forward kinematics on it, which means that whatever you do to the parent will affect the children. So any bone control, stuff like that, from the top will work their way down. The IK system does the exact opposite. It works through, it'll work from the child upwards. So whatever you do to the child will influence the parent, kind of thing. So yeah, what I've done then, so between those two, I've used orientation constraints on this third arm, this blend bone system, using orientation constraints to align it properly between the two, and then using wire parameters to wire it in so that I can use a slider, such as this one here, to control the influence between the two meshes. So say I increase that to 100, that'll set it into full FK mode, where forward kinematics has full control over it. So whatever you do to the forward kinematics arm will happen to the blend arm. Similarly, if I set that to 0, then it's in full IK control. Yeah, so just reset that. The exact same principle is on the left arm as well, with the FK, IK arms and the blends. All the mesh is symmetrical, so let's just get these down. So oh, there. So in the actual blended arm itself, for finger controls, since these aren't blended, because it'd be very difficult to work on such small joints, if you have a lot of gizmos around, a lot of controllers, it'd clutter it. For these, what I've done is I've used the reaction manager to recreate the key motions of each finger and thumb, all in an independent fashion. So if you just get up the reaction manager, as you can see here, I've brought in all the different constraints, all the different rotations and variables for the Y and Z, all the axes, and created all these different motions. So we have an index finger curl there. Oh, a outside finger comb for the outer finger, thumb curl, and a hand splay to spread the fingers out. All of these are independent, so you can mix it up as much as you like. So it's nothing set. So just reset that. Again, same on the left hand side. So yep, that's the arm done. So we'll go into the right leg. So for the right leg, well, for both legs, I've used the exact same system, a orientation constraint with by using Y parameters blending between the two. Again, using full kinematics and inverse kinematics. However, for the legs, actual inverse kinematics, I've used the Paul Neal's triple IK foot rig system, which allows for extra control from all these little gizmos around the edge. So you got like toe rolls and heel control and all that. So it all works again, child through to parent. Right, for the actual spine itself, if I unhide all. Okay, so here are all the actual point helpers and whatnot, which control the spine's orientation and everything like that. These, as like you saw, wouldn't actually be visible; they'd be hidden, so the animator wouldn't have to work with them. So for this, using a spline IK system to set up all the bones going along, also created separate controls, so that the spine has adequate areas of control from all angles. So you can control it from the waist, and then you can even just control it from the waist down, waist upwards. It's not restricted in any one axis or direction. Onto the skin, the actual skinning process. To showcase the skin, I created a quick animation loop just to show a few of the actual limbs going for it. Here we are, so let's just roll that along. So as you can see, arm rotations, head rotation, stretch back to show actually the stretchy spline at work, and the legs, quick little leg test to test the foot and its flexibility. So that showcases most of those. There are a few errors within the skin. If we go back to the hand, the arms, like the skin actually worked quite efficiently. As you can see, the right arm of the mesh seems to have skinned almost perfectly. However, with the slight rotation in the left hand side, which seems to have caused a bit of shoulder crunching around this point here. That's that issue. When it came to the actual spine, well, actually the head, as you can see, slight deformation around the back of the neck, but apart from that, it's pretty good. Right, so when stretching him out, if I go into the envelopes of it, so you can actually see, you can see that I decided to pull the envelopes forwards in a lengthward fashion rather than going up the spine. This way it'll give extra control to the stomach, since he has quite a large stomach, the mesh. That was one area that probably threw me off when skinning it. There is slight deformation, however, given the fact that he is stretching in an unorthodox fashion, I don't think that it would be something that a character rigger would have to worry too much about. You can see that there's a very little crunching in the knee, rather than the mesh actually inverting inwards and changing the like the dimensions. You can see that it's quite an even split between the two. So it's actually like a realistic crease within the leg. There's no real muscle deformation. However, within the ankle, when pointed downwards, you can see due to a low topology within the shin, it's kind of stretched out the ankle bone. So that's a slight issue within the feet, but nothing major. So yeah, faults wise, Alpha, I just reset this scene. Right, faults wise, within the actual spine itself, so I've just turn that off, turn on spine. There's a slight issue with the I tried to implement stretchy bones within it. I got it to work, well, to an extent. As you can see, I've got the actual stretch modifier here, but when I move the rig up, you can see it stretches. This bone separates. I believe that's because I've linked the arms into it, which probably was a foolish decision, but you see the bone stretches, all the bones stretch upwards and whatnot, but and the chain maintains down here, but yeah, seems to be the controller doesn't seem to work. If I just reset this quickly, in here within the transforms, you can see I've tried to implement script to actually get this working. However, I can't seem to be able to calculate it. It doesn't seem to work. So that's one of the issues that I came in with the spine. so there's no actual controller for it. It's constantly in stretchy spine mode. So yeah, that's the main fault really, the stretchy spine. Apart from that, pretty much everything else works fine. So to evaluate the entire mesh as a whole, really, I think I've done quite a good job, because it is a rig that would work within a games engine, so because it's within bone limits for like UDK, so that's a success. The lack of complexity within the mesh could be seen as something that has restricted the ability to animate properly, but I think that really it's just that the rig is sufficient for the mesh and provides it with all the details and abilities that it would need and that animator would need when rigging it. So thanks. This has been Nathan Booth, B0052698, and cheers for watching.